Hello everyone and welcome to Lucknow MuleSoft mini meetup. So our topic for today's meetup is MUnit for batch job and I hope you will find it interesting today. So before starting some safe harbor statement, so both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. The organizer or presenter do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirement. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Some housekeeping. So we are recording the session. So this recording will be shared in the meetup page within 24 hours. And if you have any concern regarding any question, so you can unmute, you can ask, or you can put it on chat. We will like to have it more interactive. And at last, I would like to say about the feedback. So once the session is done, you will get a feedback form. So we'll request you to fill up the form and send it so that it will help us to improve with respect to the feedback what you send. And if you want any specific topic to be discussed in the meetup, you can put it over there and will try to make that possible in our meetups and share more knowledge with you all. So the organizer, Akub and myself, we are the organizer, but I'm skipping this part and I'm the speaker for today's meetup, where I'm going to walk you through a little bit about batch processing and the MUnit. So again, I'm skipping my introduction over here. So let's directly move on the agenda. So what we are going to do is we'll see a little bit overview of to understand what a batch processing is, what's MUnit, then how we are doing a MUnit for batch job, which I will do a live demonstration. And what I like is I keep theory less and more of a demo part so that I believe what we see is more what we get. So I hope whatever we see today will help you out. Okay, so little bit overview on batch processing. So batch processing is a synchronous process, okay, for accessing and processing large data. Okay, we have three different phases: load and dispatch, process, and on complete, what you can see over there in the picture. Okay, so these are the three different phases where we do a load and dispatch. Over here we do the processing part and a on complete part. Okay, it is asynchronous process to process large data. It has got a batch job, batch steps, batch aggregator. Okay, we can have different batch steps which in which we can record like what are the failures record, because we cannot have a proper error handling like how we do for our main flows or private flows. The way of having error handling is quite different over here. Okay, but definitely we can do that. Okay, and on complete phase just give a report how many data are success, how many loaded, how many failed. It doesn't says or gives us the output of any requests we make. Okay, then little bit about MUnit. So MUnit is a testing framework for MuleSoft application, which you can have in your Anypunch Studio. We have two different approach, a manual approach and a testing approach. So the test recorder was published or introduced from Studio 7.5 and later version. Okay, so this is how like in your application you can choose whether you need to do a recorder or a manual. Okay, so which I will show you in demo again. This is a example like how the MUnit for a batch will look like, what all components we will be using, which I will be explaining you in more depth. Okay, so there are some references which I will share with you later on. Okay, and now let us move with the demo. So I already had a MUnit session earlier with respect to the other use cases where I had VM, private flows, lookups, a main flows, where I will share you the videos for that. You can see that. So now let us directly come up with our batch job scenarios and we'll write a MUnit for this. So anyone have any question till now? I hope you understood the agenda for our today's meetup. Anyone, any question? Okay, I hope everything is fine. Okay, so I have already created few batch job This the first one is for all success. So whatever I am getting, so I have used a MQ for this scenario where I am fetching a data from a MQ, and in that like this, where I have an array of object and I have four objects in that. Okay, just a small scenario I'm showing over here. You can use any other, like for your use case you can have any other component, maybe DB or Salesforce, anything where you are fetching a lot of data. Okay, but I'm using a small case. Here I have a batch job in which I have a batch step which runs only for the success case. I have used a batch aggregator with a size of 2. So I am fetching a data where I have four objects, but it will process two objects at a time. Okay, this is my on complete where I have used a logger. I've used a payload over here. Okay, so I will show you what outcome I get when I get up to this on complete phase, what kind of payloads we can get. Okay, so in palette you can see the things which we have for batch. Okay, a batch tab, batch job, batch aggregator. So if I drag and drop this batch job, I will get something like this where I can use a batch aggregator. Okay, maybe I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so this is how initially it looks. Okay, you can have your source part over here. For me it is scheduler, you can have anything else. This will be your load and dispatch. This is your processor part. This is your on complete. Okay, you have your aggregator over here. Fine. Okay, this is one scenario. Another, if I want to have multiple batch step where I want, like if any of the error occurs in the first step, it should go to the second step. Then what you need to do is you need to have a second batch step. In this, you can select the accept policy as on only failure. So if there is any failure in the batch step one, then only it will come to batch step two. Okay, these are the accept policies by default what we have from a batch job. So by default no failure is selected, but you can change it. So I have changed it to only failure. So once I'm getting a failed record over here, it will come over here. So you can have your error handling logic over here. So if you have any MQs or database where you want to retain that payload which is failed, you can do that. But to enable this on failure, one thing you need to do is this max uh, failed records, that should be -1. -1 means there is no limit of the failure records to be processed. If you give any size like 10, so when 10 of records failed, then only it will go to this one. After that, whatever fails will not go, it will be lost. Okay, that's why we keep it -1. Okay, any question till now? Anyone, any question on this? You are using active? No, I'm using Anypoint MQ, the one which is provided by MuleSoft. So I'm using Anypoint MQ over here, not Active MQ. Okay, this is my Anypoint MQ, and I already have some messages in my queue. This is the name of my queue. So once I start, it will fetch it and it will process it. Okay, so let me show you how it is processing. For the timing, I have stopped this because I'm using the same queue, so it may start reading the message and I can lose the message. So I'm just starting this. Okay, so I will run it in debug mode. This is the scheduler timing which I have used. Maybe I can change this so I can show you it for a longer period. Save it and I will debug it. So I have used a post, but the output which I am getting from this, I don't have to retain it. Okay, I just want it should push and it should process. That's it.
Hi Abhishek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain about the DLQs? So, if any failures will come, it will be transferred to the DLQs directly, right? It is an
Uh,
temporary.
yeah. Who's this?
Anil. Yeah.
Anil.
Yeah.
Anil, for that I already had taken some sessions, so maybe I can share you the recording because today maybe if we get some time I can explain you. But let us first focus on this MUnit for batch job, and then if time permits, we can do on DLQ, or else I can give you the video as well.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So it started. It fetched this data. Okay, the data which I've shown you, it fetched this data. Okay, it is doing a small transformation over here. Then it is going inside. Okay, so see, this is what it is doing, the process phase. So it is just processing one by one over here, but my aggregation size is 2, so it took 2 payload, you can see. Okay, the payload is 2. Although it is sending the 4 objects, it is processing the first 2. Okay, then it went to the system API, it went and it done the transformation whatever it want to do. Then again it is doing the other 2. Okay, then it came to the on complete. In on complete, what we can see is, okay, let us so this all we have. Okay, the complete, failed. Okay, how many records are loaded. Then the steps, at present we have only one step, so we are getting step 0. Okay, so let us see it in a payload mode, means a JSON mode. Okay, now see one thing, when all this is a part of a payload, this step, result, everything, but when I do a payload thing, what it is giving me, it is giving me only this record, it is not giving me even the step 1. So what I can do is, with this, okay, I can concatenate the step results. Okay, so okay, so now if I see, what I am getting is, I have the step. So in this step, what I have, so everything is success, so I have a success record which is 4. Okay, received record 4, so that step has received how many records, 4 records. Okay, so now I will stop it, and what we are getting is, as a report we are getting total record 4, successful is 4, and failed is 0, because there is no failure. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll create a MUnit for this. Okay, so how we normally do is, I will create it manually. I will go this, create a blank one. Okay, now first of all what we need to do is, we need to mock the MQ. Okay, so I will mock it. Fine, I'll give it a name, when MQ, so that it will be identified what I am mocking. Okay, see, naming conventions are very much important. Okay, so that you don't face any difficulty while finding anything. Okay, this is one. Second one I will mock is, what I'm doing, I'm calling a post system. So I will mock this, but from this I don't want to get anything. Okay, so I will just mock it. I will do it as sys API request. Okay, and I will do a verification to the on complete, which will justify that, okay, it has been executed end to end. So I'm doing a verify call, and it should at least verify once, so I'll put it over here, 1. In this also we have different modes, at most, at least, is equal. Okay, so I'm doing at least once, so at least one, it should carry forward the MUnit which I'm doing, it should carry forward toward my on complete phase. Okay, now one more thing, keep in mind, this is the payload which I got in my on complete phase. Okay, but do I get the same payload when it come over here? We'll see that as well. But first see, like this is how normally we do, correct? That if I need to do it for a private flow or any other flows, so this is how we do, a standard way of doing it. In this I've used verification, but we can use asset expression, or assert that, assert equal, anything I can use. Okay, but I'm using a verification over here. Now one more thing what we need to do is, as we have mocked this MQ, but we need to pass a payload. So we need to pass a payload over here. So according to a best practice, what we need to do is, I will create a folder, and I will write batch job. Okay, because there can be another flows. Okay, there can be another implementation file. So it's always good to have a folders and segregate it. Okay, in this I will have a file. Okay, uh, say mq payload dot json. Okay, this one, and I know this is what the output I am getting from that mq. So I will keep this. Okay, I will keep this over here. I'll save it. So you can see it is over here. Okay, now I will just call this over here in this output. For that, I need to use a class path, means read class. Okay, I already have that. I'll just use it. I will just change the name. This will be mq payload dot json. Okay, this is in my batch job. Okay, automatically it will sense the test resources, so we don't need to mention that. Read url class path batch job mq payload dot json. Done. Here I can define the media type again. Okay, so that it doesn't fail or I don't get any issue. Now let us run this. Okay, I will debug it. Okay, anyone any question? I hope it is visible and you can understand what we are doing over here. Okay, unable to find. Let me.
I think you created it for the other project, Abhishek.
Oh, sorry. System API. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, what I can do is copy. Okay, thank you so much. Let me delete it from here. We don't need it. Okay, now let us try again. Okay, now let us move. Let us see how it works. Okay, so see, this is the payload which I am getting. Okay, I will try to process it. Now see, this didn't complete, but it failed. Okay, automatically it went up to this, but it went to the verification. It didn't complete it. Okay, it didn't at all completed and it failed. So anyone can give any reason, like, or they can like guess what would be the reason why it failed. Anyone? What may be the reason it failed?
Yes, I am remembering now. Actually, I used such a, I think, MUnit on a batch. I think you need to wait. You need to give it some time to complete, and then the verify should reach.
Correct. We need to give a sleep.
Right, right.
Okay. So anyone can give the reason why. Why we need to wait.
Because the batch processing in flows in asynchronous manner, though the thread will be
Yes.
mode as the
Correct.
verifies
So
begins.
the reason is batch processing is asynchronous, whereas MUnit is synchronous. So by the time it is trying to reach there, okay, the threads are running. Okay, so parallelly it's running and it's giving the output. But what we need to do is we need to make the main thread in sleep so that I can process one at a time. Okay, so now once I use the sleep, okay, now let us run it. Okay, so now if I run it, so it's in sleep, the main thread, and it's executing. It came to on complete, and now from on complete we need to wait a little bit because we are in a sleep mode.
And we can use this wait also, right? Jay, instead of using.
Yeah, we can do, but I already have a MUnit tool for this, so I have used it.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so now let's see what is the payload we have. So the payload what we see in the on complete, which is this one, it is quite different from that. Okay, so now again see there is a result failed, there is a status field. So if I do a payload over here, say application JSON payload, so now this is what I'm getting. See, record count, results, in results, total record, okay, loaded record. It doesn't say anything about success or failure, anything like that. Okay, so when it come to MUnit, it change. So what we can do is either we can keep the validation, the verification part, or what we can do, we can use a assert equal. Okay, this we can use. In this, for the on complete, what we can do is we can use the record count to check, okay, the records what I have sent, am I getting the same? Okay, the count is 4. Okay, so but by this way we will get the on complete phase whether it is working or not. But either it is failure or success, it will always come to the on complete. How to check the batch step whether it is working fine or not? Okay, we have already seen that we have a batch step, we have a step result of 0 where we have a success or failure count. So what we can do is, for this we can have a spy before the on complete phase. Okay, I mean on the on complete phase, and we have a before call, like before coming to on complete what I have. So I will put the spy to my this on complete logger. Okay, and in this again I will have a assert equal. Okay, but this assert equal will work on the step, batch step, or batch step 1 we can say, as we have only one. So say step 1. In this what I will do is payload dot step results of 0 because we have one step. In that we have this success result records. Okay, to check this I will have this whose count should be 4. Okay, now if I run this, okay, again let's have a breakpoint over here and a breakpoint over here maybe, and we'll execute this. So if it doesn't match, it will fail over here, but if it is matched, it will move forward. So now let us debug it. Any question till now? Anyone? No questions? Okay, let's move. Okay, it is doing its process. See, it went to spy, it did the before call, and it doesn't fail. That means it is satisfying that. Okay. Now it came over here and complete. There is no error. You can see the report. Okay. Generate the report. So I have MUnit. I have done it for only MUnit batch flow. Now it is 100%. I have not done for step 2. That's why it's 0. Got it? How it works, how you can do a MUnit for a batch job. Okay, but now we have done it for only one step. What if I have multiple one and I expect like there is some error over here and it is going to step 2 and I need to check it, correct? So how we do that? So we'll see that as well. Let me change to this. Okay, I hope no doubt till now. Anyone, any doubt? You can also use recorder. Okay, but like what I found is initially when you have an API with batch step batch jobs, so initially the recording doesn't work. It will say there is nothing to record. But if you have already created few minutes, then after that the recording may work. Okay, but it is quite fine to do it manually. You can do it using batch recorder. I will try to share like if the recorder works, what issue we have if we rely only on the recorder, because if you do with recorder, it will not give you the sleep. Okay, it will just create the structure. There will be like this execution component, there can be a validation expression part. Okay, even the mock, if you select to mock the load and dispatch part connector and the connector inside this aggregator, it will only mock this, it will not mock this. Okay, maybe I'll try to show you, but let us create a manual one for this for batch step 2 as well. Okay, so we'll quickly create the second one. So I will, what I will do is I will stop this. Okay, and I will start this. Let me first show you what it is doing. So what I have done over here is there will be a failure on this for connectivity, because the host port or the path which I have chosen, it doesn't exist. So every time it will give me an error over here. Okay, so let me debug. And this time we will have two steps, step 0 and step 1. Okay, so the step result will be 0 and 1. Okay, so see, it executed. Now it is coming to system API, but it failed because we don't have any resource. So now it went to the second step, which is only failure part. Again, for second one, it tried, failed. So now see what all we have. Okay, for this. So this time we have the payload and the steps we have at 0 and 1. So what all things we have in this, let's see. Okay, so output application JSON. Okay, payload plus plus step results payload. Okay, let's see what we get this time. So we'll move back. Now see, we have two steps, best step 0 and best step 1. So in this, see, the best step 0, okay, or the first step, there was nothing success. So the success record is 0, but the failure record is 4. And in the failure one, like where we are, not the failure one, but where we are capturing the failure. Okay, let me move it and stop it. Okay, we got it, success 0, failure. Okay, so in second step we are recording all the failure record which are coming from step 1. But when we are doing it in the second step, that is success, the state is success, the step is success, it is not failed. That's why it is showing us a success records over there. Okay, in first step everything was failed, so there was a failure record of this. Now suppose there are some failed, some successful, you are sending some record which have a bad request. So I have 4 objects, 2 is good, 2 is bad. Okay, then you can have a combination of success records and fail record. But now as there is a connectivity error, everything failed, so step 1 is showing me a record count of failure for 4, and second one is showing me a success. So what we will do is again the same thing we'll do. Okay, the record are loaded, is 4 only, so we will create manually. Okay, this one again will mock. Okay, but this time when we are mocking the system API, just to check the failure thing, what we will do, we will from our end we will set a error in this mock. Okay, and I will show you how. Assert. Okay, let us put a sleep. So 20 seconds. Okay, I will just simply copy this because this is going to be same over here. Record count should be 4 only. Okay, again I will mock the MQ. So I will just the same input we are trying to send. Okay, so this will be for MQ. Now I'm doing it for this one, so I will use this. I'll put the payload. Maybe I'll put the type as well, which is JSON. This is one. Now my system request. But for this, we'll mock the system, and at the same time, we will raise an error. Okay, you can put any error type. Okay, the connectivity. Again, I'll spy on the logger, which is for the second one. This time I have 2 steps. So say step 1. Okay, in this what I need to do is, this is for step results of 0 dot, what is 0? The fail record is here, which is 4. You can, what you can do is you can use this also, successful records, and make it 0. I am using the fail records thing. Okay, now we will do the second one, step 2. But for this we need to do some changes. 1 and success record. Okay, fine. Let us do it in debug mode. I will just remove this. Okay, Now I will debug this.
There is one from Kalyan.
Mhm.
He's asking, we also have before test suit option we can use after spy.
Wait, I'll come to that. Okay, so this is, we got error. Okay, checked both to satisfied. That's why it didn't give any error. Okay, and it's successful. So whatever data we have given, like the record should be 4, failure record, here the success record. Okay, so everything satisfy and it's give the result. Now what, suppose I give the failure record at 0. Okay, what will happen, whether it will stop here or not? We also have before suit option, we can use that spy. Okay, you are talking about this one in MUnit before suit. This one may not use over here. What this before suit is for something else. It is not for this one. If you are referring to this, okay. We have like, I will show you. I will check that. I just don't remember now, but this is with respect to your suits present over here, like something like that. But it is not with your application. Okay, Kalyan, if you are asking about this MUnit tool, okay, so this is different. But if you are asking about the spy one, then yes, we will talk about that. So see, here we have an error. So it was expecting 4, but it got 0. That means it is working. Okay, it is giving us the actual report what we want. Fine, and so it will fail. So it should. Okay, the spy component didn't work. It should fail, but maybe, I hope, some reasons. But we have seen like this doesn't work, so it will give us a error over there. Okay, so Kalyan, you're asking about that before suit, uh, correct? So that is something different. This one is action to be set before the suit runs. Yes. So now suppose if you want it, it works at the starting. Sorry. Yes, at the starting. Now I got it. Now suppose you have all these suits over here, but you want to have something like maybe some action need to be done before every suit starts. That it helps on that one. So before starting all the suits, some action need to be done, which you will define over here. Similarly, we have after suits. That means everything is done, all the suits are executed. After that you will put it, and it will do some actions after that. Similarly, we have before test and after test. So for every particular, if you want to have it for any particular test, so you can do it before that or after that. Got it? It is for that one, not for your application. Okay, cool. So this is how we write a MUnit for batch. Okay, I will make it right. And let us see if the test recorder works. I tried it initially without creating any batch, any suit, and it didn't work. It was showing me nothing to record, but let us try as we have some batch steps. I will just stop this. Okay, I'll just take 2-3 more minutes, not more. Okay, let's see if the test recorder works. Okay, I will record test. Okay, so it is recording. Now configure test. Okay, so we want to have this, fine. Now we can select what all we need to mock. We need to mock this. We need to have a payload. We only need to have a payload for this. So I've selected that. Then I need to mock this. So I will choose this. See, this operation will set a behavior to skip execution of the selected process and instead output mock data according to the configuration below. Okay, so as it is inside the aggregation, it is skipping it. Okay, now suppose I want to have a spy, I can have a spy on this, or if I want to have a verification, I can have a verification on this. Okay, so let's see, let's put verification and at least one. Okay, and next, and it will finish. So see, it has created this for me. So what we have in the input, okay, this is taking this event. So it has created a folder, MUnit batch flow test. There it has set events. Okay, for the consumer, as we have asked for a payload, it has given me that. But if I run this, it will not work because I am not mocking the system API requester, nor I am slipping it. Okay, there is no slip. That's why it will not work even if I try. Okay, let's see. This is the set event. We don't have anything for the input. So this one we can remove. Now what we have, so this is the input, or sorry, the output which we are getting from the consumer. For this, it has created a assert expression, but this expression may not work. Okay, because in this it is taking a create time, which may vary when you are running it. So it's better not to do that. Okay, I used a verification, but it is not there. Okay, so manually you need to put it. Fine. So this is how the test recorder will create, but you need to have the manual approach over here where you can put the sleep, the mocking, the spy, the verification if you want, or if you want to have a validation, then use assert equal instead of assert expression.